20 feet fast, I'll take one.
And action!
Director Stuart Gordon and screenwriter John Strysik's Stuck was inspired by the true story of Shantae Jawan Mallard, a young nurse who hit Gregory Biggs one dark night in Fort Worth, Texas. Making any movie is a complex task, but when you base one on a horrific, real-life incident, new challenges are bound to flare up, even for these veterans.
Well, the script was inspired by a true story that took place 5 years ago, almost exactly 5 years ago, about a young girl who hit a homeless man in Fort Worth, Texas.
But she hits the guy and she panics, and she drove quite a bit from the highway to her house. Nobody stopping her. Of course, it's late at night, so it might have been pretty dead at that time. And took this guy into the garage and left him there to die. The ironic part is that the woman, Shantae Mallard, was a healthcare worker. And she could have easily saved his life by just calling 911, but she panics. I don't think she was a terrible person or a bad person, but she made that decision and she got stuck.
I'm considering making you the new NA captain.
The captain of the NAs?
Yes? Would you be interested?
Yes, very much.
I've watched you with the residents and with the other nursing assistants, and I like what I see.
The fact that this woman was a caregiver for a senior citizen home made it even more strange and fascinating for me. And as I was reading these stories, it was clear that there was a basis for a movie here, a very twisted movie.
That woman who hit me, she's crazy. You.
Why are you doing this to me?
You want to kill me?
Just go to sleep, all right?
Help me.
I can't!
When you do something terrible like Brandy did, you know, hit a guy, hide him in your garage while he's dying, then on the other hand, you just go back to work and you help people. And I think people are capable of that. You can compartmentalize things. And I think really in her head, she really believed this wasn't her fault. I mean, the guy shouldn't have been there, you know, he was crossing against the light. She's not going to suffer for this.
I hit someone.
Oh, shit.
But it wasn't my fault. Maybe it wasn't my fault. He wasn't watching.
All right, whoa, slow down, all right? Just relax. Have another.
It took us almost 2 years to get the script into the shape that it's in now.
I didn't do any research into Gregory Biggs. I wanted this to be a whole new character, except it's a guy who crashes through the windows. The Shantae Mallard character, on the other hand, because she was in jail, so we did base a little bit more on her, that she was a healthcare worker. The cause of the accident was because she was drinking and driving and a little high.
And then we kind of let our imaginations go and say, now what would we like to see happen here? Because the original story is a pretty sad one and a bleak one. And we thought that maybe we could do a what if this happened or what if that happened, and use the story as a kind of jumping off point. You use it as an inspiration.
That was a lot of fun, actually. This story is like ripped from the headlines, like they used to say in the 30s. This has a long history in Hollywood. You know, it's funny because the poster for Stuck, it shows it as a tabloid story, but it wasn't that at all. It was front page, hardcore news. You do have it in the back of your mind, okay, this really did happen and somebody did suffer through it, but as we talked about before, it wasn't him. It was a character we were creating, and again, for the purposes of entertainment, but also for the purposes of making you think a little bit, making it more edgy than your average film, I think.
We had different versions of the story. In some of the early drafts, we actually had our main character, Tom Bardo, had a wife that was looking for him, trying to find him, and she ends up saving him at the end. And after looking at that version for a while, we said, no, he really has to save himself. And we ended up cutting the wife, and there were even more children, characters in the script, and we got rid of all of them.
It opened up the story between what it was really about, which is Brandy, Tom, and the accident. That was the triangle there. It brought more black comedy into it, too. All the black humor in the movie arises naturally from the situations that the people are in. It isn't like we're trying to superpose it or put a joke in somewhere. We weren't trying for jokes. It was all the situation.
Hello?
Please state the nature of your emergency.
I'm in a garage.
Okay, you're in a garage.
I'm in a car.
You're in a car in a garage.
Oh,
all
a
right?
car.
Sir, is this an emergency?
Yes. Yes, an emergency.
Well, please state the nature of your emergency, sir.
I'm stuck.
Okay, you're stuck.
I'm hurt.
Stuck is a reflection on our times. We live in very fearful times. And that's one of the main themes of this film. The Latino neighbors are afraid of being deported, which is very real. Brandy is afraid of losing her job, and well, she's afraid of going to jail. You know, one of Stuart's daughters actually came up with a great line too. She thought that everybody's in their own bubble, and they don't want to get out of that bubble. And I thought that kind of sums it up great.
Stuck is a horrifying film, but I don't know if I would say it's a horror film because it has really nothing to do with the supernatural. It's really about people and what people will do to each other, which can sometimes be much more terrifying than anything that vampires or werewolves might be up to.
Help me, please.
Why didn't you help me?
I don't know.
Why didn't you let me go?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please don't do it. Please.
Well, I hope when people see Stuck, I just hope it leaves them with the idea of taking responsibility for their actions. I mean, that's the core of it. If you do something bad, live up to it. And also the idea of, you know, if you can help somebody out, help them. If you see somebody, and it doesn't have to be a homeless person in the street, it could be your neighbor, you know, with a bag of groceries or whatever. Yeah, take responsibility for your actions, and that we're all human beings and we're all into this together, and we're all kind of stuck with each other. Make the best of it.